Hey everybody. I know it's kind of weird seeing my face in your subscription feed instead of Aaron's, but I have a experience that I've been wanting to share for a while now, and I just haven't got the nerve to do it because, unlike my husband, I'm a little bit more camera shy. But I want to share a few things that God has done in my life, and this one in particular was very, it's the most recent, and it was also just mind-blowing to me. So I'm just going to get started. A couple of months ago, I was having this very strong urge, calling, if you will, to, like, Jesus was telling me to go sit by the water. And that just came over me one day when I was praying, and I was like, okay. So obviously, I'm going to go and see what that's about. So I went to the lake, and I was there, and I prayed there, and I could tell that wasn't the right place. So a little while later, a few days go by, and we go down to the river. And still, it was like, I sat there, and Aaron was with me for a while, and then he walked away and did some things so I could be alone. And I thought, well, maybe that, I just needed to be alone there. And it wasn't it. So, like I said, that was a couple of months ago, and I kind of just thought, okay, well, I don't know, I've went to the only bodies of water around here that I can, and I'm not feeling like that's what God is telling me to do, not this water for whatever reason. So really, I honestly kind of just put it in the back of my head and, just kept going day to day. I would think about it, and I would ask him, where do you want me to go? Where do you want me to go? Well, time went on, and our wedding anniversary came up. And this was, a couple of months had passed, and then our wedding anniversary. And we had planned on going to just a town that's about an hour and a half away, and just staying there for a few days. And I don't even know how we got on the subject, but we ended up talking and decided to go to the beach, which is weird because we have talked about going to the beach, gosh, for each anniversary every year, and we just never have done it. But this time's like, okay, we're going to go to the beach. Well, we did. We went to a more secluded area of the beach, and it was, oh gosh, absolutely wonderful. But I'm just going to go ahead and share, what happened there. We had been there, the day before we got there. We went down to the beach, walked in the water, and it was beautiful. I haven't been to the beach. I had only been once in my life, and that was 18 years ago. So unlike some people that go every year and it kind of, I guess, are used to it, I was overwhelmed. And so we went that night, and that was getting close to the evening, so we weren't out there very long. Well, he wanted to go see the sunrise, which at first I was like, no, because I sleep. I stay up late, so I sleep, 10 or so in the morning. I didn't see myself getting up at 5 a.m., but I did, and I'm so thankful that I did. We went down for the sunrise, and we were really, gosh, there might have only been maybe 5 other people there. So it was very peaceful. It was very, very, very beautiful. But as I was standing there, I felt God speak to me. And I know any of you have ever had this happen and God has spoke to you, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I just felt something come over me, and I was looking out over the water, and I was watching the waves come in. And it was like, well, let me back up for a second. A struggle that I have in my life, and I've had for many years, due to some events from my past, I have a pretty good issue with anxiety and fear. And so that leads me to this. And I've been praying so hard for God to deliver me from that. And he has. Sometimes, my flesh just creeps up and I can't help myself but have this anxiety. And so I'm working through that. But I was standing there on the beach and I'm looking out over the waves and I see this fairly large wave coming towards us. And I look over at Aaron and he's just standing there and I'm thinking, we need to back up. But he's just standing. So I'm like, okay. So I just stand there. And like I said, I hadn't been to the ocean in 18 years. And I guess I wasn't really understanding that it was going to get smaller the closer that it got. So I see this big wave coming. And as it comes closer and closer and closer, it gets smaller, smaller, and smaller. And as it washes over our feet, there's nothing left, just calm water. And that happened a couple of times. And then I just felt the presence of God just wash over me. And he spoke to me and he said, the wave is your fear. And as that wave gets closer and closer to you, the fear gets smaller and smaller and smaller till when it finally reaches me, it's not a big deal. And not only that, but as we stood there, because like I said, we stood there for a while, each time the wave would go out, I would sink a little bit. So over this amount of time, it got to the point where if I wanted to walk, I was going to have to lift my feet up out of the sand because I was firm in the sand. And I felt just God telling me that security around my feet, it was him holding me steady through the waves, through the fears, through the anxieties, through the worries. His hands are holding me. He's just holding me the whole time. And oh my goodness, it was such an amazing moment with Jesus out there on that beach. And every time now that I feel myself getting anxious, I've got a few health things going on and I have to go to the doctor Tuesday with some things. And of course I have concerns about it, but with my anxiety, I get a little more fearful than maybe most people. And I just keep taking myself back to the beach. And we have pictures and we have videos. And of course, my memories and the feeling that I had when God was telling me, just like that wave, it's so huge and it looks so overwhelming and so scary. But as it gets closer, it's a little less scary and a little less scary. And even if it's not calm when it comes to me, when I actually get hit by the wave, if it's not calm, he's holding on to me. So I'm not going to fall, And I knew at that moment or during that time when I was standing there and I could feel him speaking to me and showing me this through this visual experience there, that was the reason I was supposed to go to the water. And that's why the lake didn't work and the river didn't work. He was wanting to show me the violence and the scariness, for lack of a better word, of those waves and the peace as they recede and his grip on me in the process. So I didn't say anything to Aaron about any of this as it's going on. It was just a God and me moment. And so a little later that day, we had left and we had showered and gotten ready to go eat and things. And at some point during that day, the song Oceans came on. And I've heard that song, I know, 100 times. But it was if God, when it came on, it was if he made me listen to it differently. Because I could have never told you the lyrics of that song or anything about it really, other than it was just a beautiful song. But when it came on, it was like I don't know, it's almost like Jesus was singing it to me, and I was interpreting it the way that my experience on the beach was. And so, just to give you a little bit of reference, I'm going to read just a few of the lyrics, and you can see how, how this would be relatable for me that day. It says, "You call me out upon the waters, the great unknown where feet may fail, and there I find you in the mystery. In oceans deep my faith will stand. And I will call upon your name and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul will rest in your embrace." And of course, the song goes on, but I'll just stop there. It is because I will link it at the bottom if by some chance you've not heard it. But when it says, "I'll keep my eyes above the waves," it was like him saying, keep your eyes on me, not on this scary thing that's coming at you, but keep it above that. Keep it on me. And then it says, when oceans rise, when those waves come, my soul will rest in your embrace. And that feeling of just being held around my feet as those waves receded, I will rest in his embrace. So I just wanted to share that with y'all. It was an amazing trip. It was an amazing experience. And I'm so thankful the way that Jesus talks to me and the way that he helps me through my struggles, So I hope that encourages somebody who maybe have the same struggles that I do with fear and anxiety. Listen to that song. Go to the beach if you can, and you'll see things differently, I think, if you look at it that way. And I know that's why he was calling me out up on the water. So I hope y'all have a great day, and hopefully I'll see you all again if I get the nerve to share with you many other things that Jesus has done in my life. So y'all have a good day. Bye.